This past weekend on Fox News Sunday, host Chris Wallace was speaking with Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott about the voter suppression law that the state of Texas was desperately trying to get passed. They've called a special session. Abbott has called this special session after Democrats walked out of the last session, effectively killing it at the time. Now they're back. Law is probably going to pass the Republican-controlled legislature, go to Abbott's desk where he's going to sign it. But Chris Wallace made a point to take a shot at Greg Abbott and expose this legislation for what it really is. Take a look at what Wallace did this past Sunday.
Well, Governor, let me ask you, though, about two other things that the GOP bills would do. I want to put them up on the screen. They would ban 24-hour voting, and they would ban drive-through voting. Now, there was no allegation of any fraud in either of those. Harris County, the Houston area, employed both of those, and more than half of the voters who showed up were people of color. So you say you want to make it easier to vote. That's going to make it harder to vote. And the question is, why make it harder for some Texans to vote unless the point is to suppress voting by people of color?
So what's the point if not only to suppress voters of color? Never, ever, ever, ever thought we would hear that from a host on Fox News. But that was a question that needed to be asked of Abbott. And the reason his response is not in that little clip right there is because he clumsily danced around it. You know, he deflected, he changed the subject, he did all kinds of stupid stuff. He didn't directly give any kind of coherent answer to the issues that Chris Wallace brought up. He lied, misdirection, all of that. It's all crap. So I'm not even going to subject you to that. If you want to see it, of course, link in the description has the full video. You can watch his idiotic response. But the fact that Chris Wallace had the courage to say that sentence on Fox News, my God, that speaks volumes for Chris Wallace. And this is a person who, again, most of the time I do not agree with Chris Wallace. But he deserves credit for doing that because we all know what this piece of legislation in Texas is all about. Just like the one in Florida, just like the one in Georgia. It's about suppressing people of color because changing demographics threaten Republican control of those states. That's the issue. That's why this is happening. This is not just about letting Republicans take back the White House or letting Republicans take back the House. This is about Republicans keeping control of the states, folks. That's where their true power lies. And if they don't do this, then the shifting demographics, I mean, just as we saw in Georgia in 2020, like Georgia, it's already happened. Florida, it could have happened a long time ago, but they've been suppressing the votes down here for many, many, many years. And when the day comes when that legislation finally gets thrown out, or when the demographics shift to the point that even suppression cannot prevent it from happening, those Republicans are screwed. Just like in Texas. Texas has been on the verge of turning blue. I mean, hell, we've been doing stories about, oh, could Texas turn blue in the next election? I think since like 2008, maybe even before that. Because the demographics have suggested it, but suppression has prevented it. And there is only so much that voter suppression can do. There is only so much that gerrymandering can do. Eventually, the Republicans will pay a price for it, and they know it. They're just banking on not being around anymore when that bill comes due. If you can't get enough Ring of Fire, we encourage everyone to subscribe to our channel for fresh video content 7 days a week. And for even more from me, you can follow me on all social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @FairandBalanced.